I'm Rosie Hardy. This is Rosie Hardy Gardening. We have now got questions in for March Q&A, so let's have a look and see what everybody's asking. Hi Rosie, could you suggest some plants for a border being created in a high rainfall area, almost perpetually wet clay? And this is in Ireland, so very similar to growing conditions that we have here in the cooler areas of the UK. Now there's quite a lot of things that I've come up with here. I'm not going to go into all the details, but there's a little list of plants that would be suitable, and you can get different varieties of these plants. So there would be Filipendula rubra, Aruncus in varieties, Astilbe, Miscanthus if you'd like some grass, Hydrangea, they're very happy in wet soil. Molinia is another grass that's quite happy. Eutrochium, so that is what used to be Eupatorium. Actaeas, Astrantia, Caltha palustris is really a good one. Hostas, as long as you can control the slugs. Pseudocorus. Then there are things like Sanguisorba, Trollius, Lythrum, Rheum, which is the ornamental rhubarb, Rodgersia, Ligularia, and quite a lot of different Primula, the candelabra types. Hopefully that will give you a really good selection to have a look at and try, and you can get all sorts of different colours. Enjoy your garden. It sounds great fun. I've got another question here from Ireland, and it's about vine weevil, and they're wanting to know the ways in which to control them. So there are different ways of controlling vine weevil. If you are growing in containers, then you need to be regularly repotting, a minimum of every 6 months, checking if there are grubs in the plants, getting rid of them, squashing them, or feeding them to your birds. Birds absolutely love vine weevil. If not, and it's in the ground, you can go out at night and check whether you've got adults. They're usually in your trees and shrubs, and you can then kill the adults. There is nothing that you can get that will kill the adults other than you squashing them. The other way of doing it is if you've got plants that are susceptible, geums, heucheras, sedums, all those sorts of things, saxifrages particularly, then the nematodes are very good. Now you can apply the nematodes in the spring, which is usually late April, and also in late autumn, so September, October, and that will get when the grubs are just hatching and they are there at a size where they can be infected by the nematodes, which is really good. The temperatures that you're going to put them on at are referring to the soil temperature, not the air temperature. So remember, it is soil temperature, not air temperature, that the nematodes are working at. So you've just got to work out how warm or cold your soil is before putting them on. Remember, they are different types of nematode for the spring application to the ones that you put on in the autumn application. Hello, Rosie Hardy here. I want to take a quick moment here to let everyone know that Hardy's Nursery is now open for business, and we welcome any plant enthusiasts. The opening times from the 1st of March to the 30th of September are 10 AM to 5 PM Monday to Saturday, but 10 AM to 4 PM on Sundays and bank holidays. Come and see the large selection of herbaceous perennials, and you might find what you are looking for to fill that tricky spot in your garden. If you can't make it to the nursery, you can also check out our mail order online, but we do only send to the UK only. Now back to the video. Here we've got somebody who has taken some rose cuttings which have rooted. They're doing quite well. They've got a little bit of growth coming on them, and they're just wondering, because it looks as though they're budding up and wanting to flower, do they take off those flowers, nip off the flowers? And I would say yes, absolutely. You do not want young plants that are just growing from cutting new roots to be putting all their effort into flowering. So you want to be removing flowers as and when you can, at least a minimum of 6 months into them growing, if not a whole season of cutting back. And then when they've made a decent bush, then they are ready for them to be allowed to flower. Oh, this is something that happens quite a lot. People are looking at daffodils, and the daffodils they've been growing have gone blind. So that means that they are not flowering for that season. This can happen for numerous reasons. Firstly, it can be environmental, i.e. there might have been a drought or there might be too much shade. It could be pest and disease. There are quite a few reasons that pest and disease, and the reason why they're not flowering is the bulb has not matured properly. So something has stopped it growing as it should be maturing. The other thing that can happen is they could be too overcrowded. And so basically what you need to do is, if they're too overcrowded, lift them, split them, move them. Give them a high potash feed, move them to somewhere where they get a little bit more light, and if they don't rebloom after that, then start again and get yourself some new, fresh, disease-free bulbs. Somebody here asking about cherry laurel. So this is obviously being used as a big shrub, and they say they're several years and they're covered in brown spots on the leaves. This can be caused either by a disease or it can be caused by insects. It varies depending what they are, but basically it can resolve itself, but it looks untidy until that time. So you can remove and give a light prune to the shrubs and just see if the new leaf comes out fresh. If it comes out fresh, all well and good. If it doesn't, then you can help. If you don't want to spray with a chemical spray, you can use something called SB Invigorator. Now this person is in Canada, so I'm sorry, I don't know whether you can get SB Invigorator where you are, but have a look and see if you can. It's an organic material that you spray onto the plants once a week, and it helps them to battle disease, etc. If you can't get it, then you can try a mixed fungicide and insecticide and use that, and then hopefully your new leaves will come through clearly. But also get rid of old leaf wherever you can, especially if it's fallen onto the ground as leaf litter. Clear that, because that can be holding any of the fungus spores in there and any of the overwintering grubs as well. This next question is about mock orange or Philadelphus. They found they were removing it, or they transplanted it 2 years ago, and found that the roots were growing in circles, so spiraling around. Normally when you lift a shrub and you see spiraling around, it means that, or indicates that, it had been slightly pot bound in a container before you put it into the ground. If that wasn't the case, and it's just that it's spiraling in the ground that it's in, then it may be in ground that is very compacted and the roots are not managing to spread and get out. Now I'm being asked if you can take root cuttings from mock orange, and the answer to that is not normally. Normally you would take soft tip cuttings or hardwood cuttings, so that is from all of the growth that is growing above ground level, not from root cuttings. Now I have one here about Coronilla citrina, and they're growing it in a pot, and they're wanting to know whether container growing is an option. Absolutely, you can container grow them as long as the container is large enough. You repot them once a year, you give them some food. Make sure that they are in a relatively sheltered position. They don't like cold winds going past them, and they will be absolutely fine. Do not overwater, especially if they're in a container. Lastly, we've got, could I possibly do Chelsea chop to my willow perennial sunflower? Now the willow perennial sunflower is Helianthus salicifolius. It's a wonderful plant. It grows over 7 feet tall, which is 2 meters plus. Lovely narrow green leaves and fabulous yellow flowers on the top of it. Now this person wants to know if they can do Chelsea chop to it. Yep, of course you can. It will help it, and it will stop it being quite so tall, but it still doesn't stop it getting much past. It'll still go up to at least 5 feet, so just under the 2 meters. So you can reduce the actual height slightly by doing Chelsea chop. Otherwise, if you find that it's still growing too tall and that way, then remove it from where it is and plant it somewhere behind a shrub so that it gets support from the shrub, and you then don't have to stake it. Thank you very much for listening, and please do subscribe to the channel.